So this will help you. It's the last two things in your giant.
Yeah, so we left bids for the DASB grant work, which just to refresh everybody's memory. The work consisted of ground improvements under the future building, which is done by a process called rigid inclusions, where they do grout how where the building would be. Also, part of that was some footings work that would be done, placing footings in areas where piers and walls would be. Some of the footings work was done. This is all. The other part of this was simply water and sewer extensions, and then some demolition of some old concrete pads out there that kind of get demolished to get out of the way. So bids went out. They were due back last week on Thursday. We had 3 bidders: Small Jake Construction, Heller and Sons, and Pike Construction. The bids were relatively close. The base bids range from 1.15 to 1.37. The low bidder was Small Jake Construction. And based on his base bid price, we're able to also, within the DASD construction budget, could award also alternate 1, which was pier footings. Yeah,
His alternate.
the alternates are different. So the alternates, yeah, thank you for bringing that up. The alternates were very different. So I did make a point of calling the owner of Small Jake Construction, and just made sure that he's willing to do the work. You know, we told him we likely will award alternate 1 with the base bid, and we need his confirmation that he's gonna keep his bid.
Look at that spread on the alternate 2. Between the high and the low.
I know, it's crazy. You know, yeah, so, I guess, you know, the Small Jake Construction, from the paperwork we saw, you know, they provided similar projects and qualifications, and I think being the low price, they are the most qualified responsive bidder. So we would make the recommendation to award Small Jake Construction for the DASD grant.
And this fits into the budget.
Yes.
5.
Yeah. We need to adjust some of the contingency allowances to make sure it stays under. It's like when we look at the contingency allowances, about 90. In essence, it's about 100,000 because there's some contingency unit prices. Is when we award alternate 1, we go over by 30,000 with contingencies. We need to just reduce our contingency allowances a little bit to make sure he falls. I'm not concerned about that. So our contingency, we'll award as is, and then we'll adjust for change order, you know, if necessary. But in the end, the contingency allowances, you know, will be reduced somewhat. Yeah, no, this is really good news to be able to do this work and also to want to get. It's very good, you know, and we're already in the budget for Ramble to do the inspections out there. We have special inspections for the rigid inclusion portion because the specialty work, CME, geotechnical, as a sub to us, will go out there and do the inspections as when the inclusion work is going in ground. So, yeah, so the recommendation would be to award to them, and it might be better. Bob, you want to run through the resolution for award?
Sure, Rob, or Paul. Yes, so the resolution is authorizing the Harbor Corporation to enter into the 2 construction contracts with the selected low bidder. It's authorizing Vin to negotiate and execute those contracts. However, there will be 3 conditions. The construction contracts will be conditioned, and it's in section 5 on page 3 of your resolution, if you want to read along with me. But the 3 conditions are that the corporation obtains funding acceptable to the corporation to permit the project to be undertaken. The execution of purchase and sale agreements acceptable to the corporation with Mohawk Valley Garden Corporation, for whom the project as so contemplated herein has been specifically designed. And three, any other terms or conditions required by the corporation so related thereto. So I think you all know that this corporation is funding the work. It will be reimbursed, but it's a reimbursement grant for that work, but it needs to obtain its own funding in the first instance. And I know Vin is working on getting some funding from some of the local banks. So that's a condition to entering into this construction contract. The other requirement is that we do have that executed purchase sale agreement with Mohawk Valley MVG folks. Particularly because this work was specifically designed for the MVG project. So, right, you wouldn't want to start this work or, even complete the work. And then MVG never undertakes its project, and then we, end up with a new end user who doesn't have any use for the work that was just done. So we've put, and then finally, any other terms and conditions that the corporation, we might require as we kind of dive into this a little bit more in concluding the MVG purchase sale agreement negotiations.
And I might just clarify, and I did mention it there, instead of one construction owner, contractor, there's two. And the reason was we were gonna phase this work, the utilities first and then ground improvements. We bid it together, but there's simply two construction agreements because there's two engineers of record. The structural engineer did not work for us. It works directly for Utica Point Development Corporation, as did Rambo. So we just, because of two different engineers of record, there's just two separate contracts to sign. Doesn't change anything else. Same bid price, same everything, same contractor. It's just the contractor will simply sign two different agreements, one for utility extensions and one for the ground improvement.
When do they anticipate starting this?
So I don't know how much pre-work they really need to do. The first thing out of the gate is the ground improvement work. And that initially, we don't have a schedule yet from a contractor, but it's a specialty sub coming in. And they were supposed to come in the beginning of January. It'd be great if they can come in December, but I think they were planning to be here in January.
All right. The weather doesn't hamper any of that?
They've already put all the weather conditions were in the contract, so, they normally, they can do winter work, it's just a little slower, but it's all in here, that they have to provide their own snow removal, have to do, but it's, there's certain things they need to do with the ground for winter work, and that's all already in the.
And once they start, they'll keep doing it regardless of the weather.
That's right.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve? Motion. John, second. Bill? All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Jack? Take the other documents.
In your packet is, various reports, annual report, procurement report, investment report, along with, various documents and also the, audit. Pardon me?
Audit bylaws.
Yes, and in the bylaws are many of the different, the different policies are in the bylaws. Bob and I had talked about taking them out at some point, but unfortunately, just due to other business stuff, haven't had that chance. So whistleblower policy, disposition policy, along those lines.
Any changes from prior policies or anything?
No, it's a lot of boilerplate. Brian puts together the operations and accomplishments and stuff on a very timely basis, so I appreciate that.
Wow. He's being sarcastic.
Gotta have some levity.
Any questions on the documents?
And again, the audit is pretty clean. Vin's looked at it. There's no, notes or comments, that are, against what we're trying to do.
And the sale that Andy didn't occur till after the period, so.
Correct, right. That'll be recorded next.
There is a big loss, but.
Right.
Fees in there.
As part of the annual report, there is personal property sale or acquisition, and also real property. So we didn't have anything in this period, but next year.
What the other comes?
Oh, the audit's probably in the $8,500 range, maybe $9,000. Yeah, I mean, but we try to be as yeah,
Pretty much.
we try to be as efficient as we can with providing the information for the auditors and making sure that the books are clean.
Right. There's no questions. Can I get a motion to approve the documents? Second. All in favor? Opposed? So moved. Bank update. That's me. So Utica has come out with an offer, to take out MBT. It's, unsecured loan, right, plus quarter, or half a point. Not taking any collateral or anything, put the offer forward to MBT today, got the offer. They didn't reject it, and they're running it up the flagpole, I should hear tomorrow, Friday. So I think we're gonna get out of there. The approval was for 460. We owe MBT 560, I think, plus interest.
Just in principle, total is around 780.
So that's what we should have done. We should have an answer tomorrow or Friday. I'll pass it on to everybody, and that'll help us with all the contingencies in the Adirondack loan that we had to get through with MBT also. So make this a much cleaner deal for us. So
We're still owe though, right?
No, once we sell the adjacent property,
basically
next year.
are secured by Ash's purchase agreement. So when he closes, it'll pay off. Thank you.
So going back to the beginning, when the guy's starting to work, okay? Are we gonna close on Esh's property before they start to work? I thought he was saying,
Maybe once the work's complete.
okay,
And the bank understands that.
okay.
They're doing it as a community.
Right.
Is always
Yeah,
support of the community, and they step forward.
But to the councilman's point, contingency that we just agreed to requires that approved purchase and sale agreement be in place before work starts.
so like, God forbid, something happens and they back out, we're gonna be screwed again.
They talked to the bank before they made the commitment. They reached out to him to get his confirmation. He's going.
And I'm not
he's
worried
moving
about that
forward.
at all, I'm
Yes,
just asking for my own.
but they did, they covered themselves by reaching out to him.
Yeah, and these contract documents, reflect the December 8th date for notice to proceed. So hopefully, if everything.
We'll definitely know before.
Yeah.
All right. Project updates, 17 building.
I made one call to Sal in the time period since the letter was sent by you, by the board. And he said he was working with a new architect, and seemed like he understood what was in the letter. He had some questions. We talked a little bit more about floodplain, seems to be an area where he gets confused, but talked a little bit about that. So I don't know, he didn't seem anxious.
What's the deadline we said, December 15th?
December meeting.
So what I would suggest that we do, just again, so we all know, a week or so before, make a phone call and tell them, hey, good. This is the deadline. If you don't have your thing, you don't have it in, it is what it is. So nobody could say anything, you know what I mean? We gave them enough chances now, and that's it.
I'll give him a call next week just as a follow-up from my end.
Right,
to see where he's
yeah,
at.
in the back of my mind, I don't.
Yeah, you would think,
I don't know if you would think he would have been.
you might see the draft by now, right? The letter of intent, right?
I would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would think, yeah.
So now what happens after that? Now it's open for bid, we come up whatever we want. He could still bid on it again, right? But he doesn't have first crack, right?
And we've given them how long has he been? A year.
Yeah, at least, yeah, at least, maybe
We've
two,
been doing this, so.
and he's no further ahead, and
Complain, but. Yeah. But fair with their time.
Want to make sure he gets every chance he can, and that's it.
That's right. All right, Jones Chemical,
So we have talked, we did an introduction with the city corporation council and Tim Gaffney, vice president of Jones Chemical. That was a very good call. So I don't really have much of, I don't know where Stephanie is, but I know she's working through it. But Tim didn't press her on time frame or anything, although, we do need that property transferred before construction. So, we get into the beginning of, we gotta hope that it gets done before spring. So yeah, so the city's working on that. We did learn a lot about the remediation, good and bad. I haven't talked about this, but they think they're gonna be done with the remediation, but with final reports in early 2027. So it would create a much better situation for construction out there. What if they're done than we have now? So I'm thinking of kind of maybe phasing the work with the NIPA grant. And so we would do a lot of demolition, more demolition than we thought out there. There's a lot of old building foundations that have cropped up. So we're thinking of doing part of the work and then looking for a green infrastructure grant to finish it. But the part of the work that we would do would be to, improve the roadways around there, access aprons inside there, clearing, grubbing in those areas, lowering of the monitoring wells when they're done. So that would allow temporary parking, but we just won't have a new service till we get another grant. But there's a lot to do in the interim. So we're going to talk to NIPA and see if they'd like this phasing idea. There's plenty of, I still think it might result in a little bit of savings, but we can move money around into sculptures and to other things that would be covered by the grant. But so there's a little bit of changes there. This Jones Chemical will be converted to the event center parking. That's the ultimate goal. But it's just like everything out there. Everything's complicated by cleanups. Okay, so it'll be a little bit more phased in.
Harbor Point was going to buy this property originally and then transfer it over to the city. But what we did was he took and paid back the city of the $90,000, the $245,000 interest payments. We paid the city off with that, so now that money is sitting into an account for the purpose of then buying this. So instead of doing us buying then transferring, we're just going to have the city buy it itself. It'd be a lot cleaner. So we've given them the money that they need to go through with that and then closing costs.
National Grid, anything?
We just get more focused on the sequence. So we're doing the trails on both sides of the harbor leading to the bridge. So we have this boat launch that we talked about. It's now on that side of the harbor, away from the other things that were interfering on the where the kayak launch was. We looked at that area, couldn't do it, so it's on the other side with National Grid. They've been very productive calls. I think Dana signed up for substation coordination, but now she's like doing everything.
Right, cover the gas as well.
So, there's a small triangle piece of property that will need an easement in order to put the boat launch in. And that's the next thing we're working through with National Grid. There's some paperwork.
She got real estate
Yeah, she has, she'll have a form tomorrow that she wanted, have some figures, and then we have the surveyor working on boundary description already. So we need that easement to build the boat launch, and we just gotta work through the National Grid on securing, probably fencing around that area. Fencing prices going up because of the fencing for, around the boat launch and everything. So that, National Grid, we don't interfere with the wheel.
It's a process.
When's the boat launch, tentatively be built in the spring?
This is all, next construction season. Yes. So I need your help, But again, Dana, they've been good. We have to cross over some gas lines. She's got comments from, we haven't seen them yet. Gas group. Working through that, so.
Any update, Rick, on the cleanup as far as timing or?
I have not heard anything. The SIR group, speaking of the director. I don't know if you dealt with Chuck Miller at all.
Oh, yeah.
Chuck McLaren.
Yeah, okay.
So with that new individual in place, I think it'd be a good opportunity to reach out for an update on, what's going to have a new person in place. And then whether it's first quarter, second quarter, I would like to get some senior leadership within Grid involved, at least give them a flavor of where we're at.
Mhm.
The desire is give them some conceptuals.
Yeah.
So that they're aware and have some broad stroke timeframes as well. So there's no blindside or someone, minimize surprises. So that's something that I think I want to kind of initiate next year, even just something simple, high level, just to give awareness.
You think, having work all of a sudden going on will help, with the Indian work and this project could be going.
Absolutely.
Suddenly,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
visualize.
Some actual, shovels in the ground.
Yeah. Right now, they're just looking out there. It's the rush. I think so. Right. For sure. Right, Disney and Canal Corp grants. Whatever.
Yeah, I think the dads did pretty well. Canal Corp, Canal Corp grants cover that event parking lot, they cover the trails, and they cover the boat launch. So I think we touched on all those.
Branding,
Oh, yeah.
RFP went out for branding. We put it on the state contract reporter and have proposals back ranging from a few $1,000s to six figures.
The sign, right?
Included the sign, yes. So we're going through those, trying to make a decision.
Did it include the physical structure, and material for a sign and all that too, or just the graphic design?
It was graphic design plus a design for a sign,
Okay, but
not fit specs or anything.
that'll fall into our pick.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we'll need to coordinate. Whoever it shows.
Anticipation of needing a meeting in December. Yeah. If he sends it in, do we have to vote on it or just accept it if he submits it? I'm just thinking everything's kind of moving along. No, is it need a
When would be our next meeting date?
December 17th or January 21st.
So if he sends it in the 60th, I think we're gonna need time to review it. And it's
Right.
gonna-
And then the attorneys to review. I would probably skip it.
unless anybody insists.
No takers?
Meeting.
Come on, guys.
Want to be here?
All right, so any other business, any other questions? One thing I did hear on the radio today is I think a lot of people like Gentiles expressed concern about the heart. Know what that was about? It's county legislator. You know anything about it, Sean?
No, was it?
Tony Leon.
Yeah.
What did he say?
I was just getting out of the car and I heard him say, his concern, biggest concern. And then
So And again, so I'd like it starting in January, and I probably have to work, Brian will probably would let me know. I think I need to work with the mayor. I'd like to see, as far as what we do at the harbor, like weekly, and like that, that's got nothing to do with this, right? That's the city. Brian, is that correct?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Like if you want to do something like, say, like month on a Monday, get something at the harbor, or entertainment or something, that'd be through the city, not us, right? It's on that. I'm just using an example.
Right. It's like any other-
Because I'm getting a lot of people love the harbor, and like right off the bat, they want to do something for harbor, like for Halloween, they want to do stuff. I just want to I'll get with him then. I'll work with him and get a schedule on
Yeah,
what we're gonna do.
I think it's a permit through the city clerk's office, just like any other city park.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'd like to see the city, like I've talked to him already, where we did something, I don't want to say like with the truck, but something like that, where we have something every week for, or at least once a month, starting in May. We got that beautiful place. We need to do something there. You know what I'm
I
saying?
agree, just.
My only question is,
It's
even
not,
though
we don't have a whole lot of parking and we don't have any
Yes,
beds.
I get it. So you gotta get, right. Okay. But people don't want to hear the truth. You know what I mean?
Well, until they have to go.
I know.
And no, don't go behind the tree.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell somebody to do something that they don't have porta potties, and you can get porta potties. So I mean, I don't think it would be crazy to do something.
But understand the porta potties come at a cost too, I mean.
Right,
And that's
oh
what I'm
yeah,
saying.
we're gonna have to do
Probably
something.
can't
Right.
do something weekly.
But it also, when you have the food trucks, they're paying money for their permits that would pay to do some of that stuff. Right? We need to show it off. We need to do something, even if it's once a month, or something where we have events there, I mean, you've seen what the two events we did, the grand opening and when the orchestra came that time, I mean, it was packed. Got a beautiful place there and we, need to, I mean, the parking thing is never gonna get better, is it?
Yeah, we just talked about putting in,
Right, okay.
Yeah, or you can't park.
But still, it's not gonna be enough for,
I mean, for the two events, I think a lot of people parked in other businesses.
they did.
And
They did.
that's okay for the first two events,
Right.
but that's gonna get old with some of those businesses quickly.
Right.
We don't want it to end up being a black eye on the harbor either.
Right. Well, I'll talk to the mayor. I was just asking, is this where you discuss that, or you discuss it with him?
John, do you think we should address the legislature about the harbor? Is this just somebody who's found something thinking nice?
No, I listened to part of his interview. They asked him, he talked about me in it, and we're friends, and that, anything in the city, they usually come to me, and he goes to them, and it wasn't, I think they asked him, what do you want to accomplish? And he basically said, I'd like to see the harbor, fruition and something like that. I don't think it was a bad.
Well, I think that just being newly elected, he's gonna have a lot of questions.
Right.
He's gonna wanna be updated on what's going on
Right.
because he really doesn't know. And I think the next time we meet for our legislators, go in there, we can just talk about it. See where he's at.
How many new ones do you have?
When it's,
Daniel's got.
We got two. We took two.
Oh, okay. That's
he
not-
probably wouldn't do that until January though, until he's sworn in, right?
Yeah, but they come anyway.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they come. They don't wait till.
Yeah, it wasn't a nasty thing. It was more, he knows me, we worked before, blah, blah, blah.
I'm just offering. You think I should come? Or they should come, I'd be glad to come. Okay. Make a quick presentation, I'll try to follow along. So you can go.
Sounds perfect. Me and my cold art.
Just as I look at your life.
The bathrooms are
There you go.
bathrooms are
We can
interesting.
invite him to one of our meetings here too. January meeting, yeah.
Okay. Sounds good idea.
We should probably get more out of that than.
Invite him to the meeting.
Okay. We reach out to them.
I got his number if you need it, so.
I was just gonna say bathroom, we didn't get the welcome center grant from Department of State. And, but we did, because during a debrief, we did have a chance to talk to them about it, which they ended up loving it. The complication there is they don't like to do design and construction grants together. So they really like, they're encouraging us to put in just for design this upcoming summer and then construction the following summer, but it's kind of moving slow. So at some point, we got to think about that. We want to invest in the, but this, I don't know, the city somehow, our LFC somehow invest in some level of design for that welcome center ahead of time.
So that would be a separate building that we would build there someplace, like for bathrooms?
Yeah, basically next to home two, between the entrance and home two. Yeah, over that. Welcomes, would have a history part of that. It'll, tie into the trail system that's coming, from the canal trail into the site that DOT is working on with the bridge project and the whole thing. Alternate to that could be, depending on where Sal goes or whether the board wants to continue to, pursue private interest. The other thing is you could make a decision to make 17 a public building, put the vendor space in, and put the bathrooms in there. I mean, you got some options, but you got to start thinking about, how you want to do that.
Do you think something like that occurs?
That's good. Either a new build or retrofitting 17, at least for part of it. I think both of them are a couple million.
Lisa, do you have the rendering of the building
Welcome center.
that was proposed? You can
Maybe.
share it quickly.
Give me a minute. Keep talking. Talk amongst yourself. Let me see.
I mean, it's a cool little building that would be right at the entrance.
Yeah.
I want to put a name on that.
Yes. Look at how fast I found that, Brian. Let's see.
The sheet that Susanna set up would be the nicest because it shows location too.
Let's see. How do I do this? Window. Here we go. Share. You see that?
Can you blow it up a little?
Yep.
Go.
So this is the entrance in. Here's that little blue area is the corner of the 33 building. If I can make this bigger. So the idea would be and this is already here. So the idea would be to put it here next to the existing parking area. And then this is an actual building that we put into a park in the city of Gloversville. And it's got restrooms around the back. This is all open, and these sort of are garage doors that go up and or come down depending on what the heating. So it's kind of open space, and there's actually space in here for a food vendor too. So when they opened this park, actually they had a local taco place in here making delicious tacos, and then the benches all around. So it's like a multi-purpose building, year-round building actually, that can be used for restrooms, food, gathering spaces. You can rent it, for example. Yeah, it came out pretty nice. Actually, it's not that big. This is the dimensions of it, which you can see. I don't have the dimensions of it, but it's not terribly big.
Yeah, so you see the location there at the red roof. Yeah, it is a nice concept there.
What if they did something like that where you use part of the building, almost something like where you put a restaurant or something in it, and like if the city or the harbor took the building over, you had it there and you rented it out, kind of like we do with Valley View, or like we used to do with the harbor down, okay. And then the other part you made for, a where people can rent kayaks in a bathroom, and you.
Well, that's with this 1917.
Yeah. Or, but
You know what I'm saying?
this would be owned by the LDC, and you could lease it out. Yeah, just exactly that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right, we'd have to take the upkeep on it and all that too. So I mean, but it might be. I mean, it might be a good idea if you broke it up. It's a big building. If you broke it up to 3 or 4 different parcels that people
You're
can.
talking 17 on this new building concept.
No,
I'm
17.
talking a building like if Sal doesn't put in and then buildings there,
17,
and nobody really comes in there and builds on it. Why couldn't we take that, build a restaurant or build something, lease it out to somebody?
Right.
Put the bathroom
You're gonna need those
there,
services there anyway.
put the bathroom there, put,
Right.
you know, a bait shop, a canoe launch, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yes, that
And
would,
it's all three of them. I mean, realistically, how many restaurants do we really need down there?
yeah, no, I think, and that's why I'm just
I mean,
saying,
you
that
might-
yeah, they see this as you do this, or you go the direction of 17 being,
Right,
it's,
Right.
but that's what she does, the decision's gonna need to be made in the near future here.
right. I mean, I'd almost think you'd be better off with something, you know, like say, like a Voss's or somebody that came in to rent it out, that was out there and people in there have burgers, barbecue and stuff like, I mean, it might hurt the other burger guy up the road, but across the way there, that smash burger. But what I'm saying is the people down there fishing and stuff, you're already gonna have a high-end restaurant in 33, might as well have something that's people can come and use every day, you know? It's just my, you know,
Sounds good though.
I mean, everything costs money, I know, you know what I mean? There's a problem. I mean, how much, what do you think to redo that building, something like that? How many million is that?
Yeah, 2 million all day long, 17 probably might get in the 3 million range, because, you know, you're dealing with.
That's just the shell too. That's not buying stuff for inside, right?
Well, no, I would hope that you can retrofit 3 million, you know.
And is there grants you think that we could get? Is stuff available and stuff we could get some?
Right.
But again, we gotta pay and then you pay the grant then,
Right.
right?
It's just what you wanna do with, you know, if you wanna go that direction with 17 and, you know, push off any kind of separate building welcome center, you know, but really kind of make 17 the welcome center in a sense, and public bathrooms, and, you know, those are the things you need to, I don't know if I have a preference either way. I think they're both good ideas.
Yeah.
But,
Cause you're gonna need all that stuff there.
Yeah.
Really hard to make it.
but, you know, I mean, 17 represents the last revenue source, but I guess you get it in a different way through vendors and leases. And, yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know what you prefer.
I think it's probably cheaper to build new than it is to retrofit that building,
Probably.
kitchens and bathrooms.
I think you're right.
But
But we can't do anything with it. You know, tear it down or anything.
You know,
There's things that
that's it. Motion.
Just a quick note, I've sent out a number of times, the ABO letter regarding ABO training as is required by law. So I'll be sending it out again within the next week or so, when I check the new dates that they have available. Takes you probably about 45 minutes. You need to be there and, you know, present on your computer because they do take roll call, ask some questions. So if those who have not taken it, would take it
Is that something you take every year? I mean, I took it in the past. You take it
every 3 years.
All right, so, but do you know if we're due or not?
I have a list of everybody.
Okay, so you'll
For
send
all
me,
of
you'll
the
send
different
me,
groups in the
you'll send me an email if I gotta take it.
Yeah, I sent it out in mass to IDA people, Urban Renewal Agency people, and this.
Just for the people that had to take it. So if I didn't get an email, I'm good?
Correct.
Okay.
I'll make sure you're.
All right, just clear me.
Right. You get an email,
All right, because I don't think I got it.
and unless something changes, you know, December.
Yeah.
If it doesn't change, bankruptcy.
Okay. Everyone on the computer, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.